Hi everyone, James Mackay here from Barbechoo.com, and today we're going to take a look at the questions you need to ask before you buy your first barbecue. Welcome to the first ever episode of BBQ Know, the inaugural episode, Genesis, the beginning. So to start in barbecue, the first thing you'll need is a barbecue. So when I am talking to people about what barbecue they should buy, it can be a big investment, so people get a little bit timid about splashing the cash on something that they might not think's right. So there are 3 questions I think you need to ask yourself before you dive in and buy your first barbecue. Question number 1 is, what kind of food do you hope to cook? So at the minute you might just be using your barbecue for purely grilling. So you might want to learn how to do some indirect cooking, you might want to smoke, you might want to do some low and slow. So you need to ask yourself the question, will the barbecue I'm looking at suit that style of cooking? Question number 2 is, how many people do I regularly cook for? So on a day-to-day basis, what size is your family? How much food do you need to fit onto that barbecue without it becoming a problem? So if you're only catering for 2 to 4 people, a smaller grill might be enough. If you regularly cook for 6 to 8 people, then you'll need a slightly larger grill. So ask yourself that question. Don't worry about situations where you're maybe cooking for a larger family group or a party, because those aren't the norm. So as long as you can cater for your everyday situation on that size of a grill, then that's that box ticked. Question number 3 is, what is your budget? This can be the deciding factor with any barbecue purchase. If everybody had an endless amount of cash, they would just go and buy their dream barbecue and it wouldn't be a problem. But that's not always the case. So set yourself a budget and then buy the best barbecue you can buy within that budget. So answering those 3 questions will help you decide what barbecue might suit your needs best and help you narrow down your options. If you still need a little more advice, then the barbecue I think every beginner should start on is this, the humble Weber kettle. It's the perfect barbecue for any beginner, and if we look at those 3 questions that we asked ourselves before, this ticks all the boxes. Question number 1, what kind of food do you hope to cook? This can be set up in so many different ways. You can do direct, indirect, low and slow, and you're learning the basic fire management from using charcoal. So this ticks all the boxes for question number 1. Question number 2 is, how many people do you cook for on a regular basis? I have a family of 4, which this caters for no problems, but I've catered for larger parties, sort of 8 to 10 people. There's plenty of grill space on this to cater for those larger numbers. So question number 2 is covered, no problems with this barbecue. Question number 3, what is your budget? This is the premium kettle, but I would recommend you go for the Master Touch, which is a step up from this. Those are retailing for under £300, and I don't think you would find a barbecue anywhere else that covers all those styles of cooking and for this size and build quality for under £300. So you might be a little bit worried about going for a charcoal barbecue as your first barbecue, but you shouldn't be. I started on gas. I cooked with gas barbecues for years, and whenever I started to try and get into barbecue a little bit more, I bought myself a better gas barbecue. But it wasn't long before the charcoal bug struck, and a few months later I ended up buying my Weber kettle, which I now prefer to use. I still own the gas, but I don't use it as often. So don't worry about using charcoal as your first barbecue. It's the best way to learn fire management and learn temperature control. There's 2 common arguments against charcoal barbecues. Whenever people are weighing up gas versus charcoal, the charcoal guys will say charcoal gives you a better flavour, the gas guys will go convenience. Convenience isn't really an issue. You should be preheating your gas barbecue before you use it anyway. So it usually takes 10 to 15 minutes. You turn all the burners on, get it up to temperature, then give the grates a clean and throw your food on. With charcoal, if you're using a chimney starter, it takes around 15 minutes to light a full chimney of lumpwood charcoal. So 15 minutes preheating your gas barbecue or 15 minutes lighting charcoal, there isn't much of a difference. The second argument against a charcoal barbecue that most people have is they don't like cleaning the ashes out every time they use it. This isn't really an issue with the Weber kettle, so it has the one-touch cleaning system, which is a set of fans at the bottom that you sweep back and forward. They sweep all the ash into the ash pan, you simply unclick it and tip it in the bin. There's nothing else needs done. I hate cleaning out my gas barbecue. There's just so many parts in there that the grease and grime gets in round, and you don't have that issue with a Weber kettle. You can leave the grease in the bowl, the heat from the charcoal will burn it all off. So convenience has been debunked. The 15 minutes preheating, 15 minutes lighting charcoal. Cleaning them out, you're actually easier with a kettle than you are with a gas barbecue. So in my opinion, you are better to start with a charcoal barbecue such as the Weber kettle. They are cheaper than most gas barbecues. They are built well, they will last, you can do any kind of cooking on them, and you're learning fire management because you're using lumpwood charcoal or briquettes for longer cooks. So you're learning how to control your vents to keep a steady temperature, and that will only benefit you then if you move up into a different style smoker. So I hope you find that helpful. It's not a definitive guide, it's just my opinion on what's the best barbecue to start with. If you've any questions at all, please leave them in the comments below and I'll do my best to get back to you. And if you like the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next episode.